All right, if you had to take a guess at which candidate would be accused of breaking the rules this campaign season, who would that be? Who seems to be, I don't know, who has to have an aversion to rules he doesn't respect? Well, last week we took a look at some signs that started popping up around town. You know, the black on white with the QR code with the block lettering that says don't vote? Yeah, those signs right there. As we discovered last week, it takes you to the Ammon Bundy for Governor campaign website, but not before claiming if you are an uninformed voter, you are the most dangerous person in a democracy. Not a misinformed voter, not an insurrectionist who tries to overthrow a democracy. Anyway, there was some question as to, well, when we did this story, as to who was behind the signs, the Bundy campaign or an outsider. As you just got a little sneak peek there, we kind of spilled the beans. Which is why, thanks to the Idaho Capitol Sun, we learned yesterday the Secretary of State's office is looking into it as a possible campaign violation, since, according to Idaho law, campaign communications have to clearly indicate who communicated them. You know, the paid for by and the I'm so-and-so and I approve this message, those have to be involved. Apparently, we now know who put up these signs. After numerous attempts to contact the Bundy campaign to ask, since it was not clearly indicated on the sign, along with seeing a few more signs showing up around the Treasure Valley, well, we noticed some of these started showing up with an aftermarket marking, a little sticker stuck to the lower left-hand corner. There it is, that says paid for by Ammon Bundy for Governor. Granted, not all of these signs have this sticker, by the way, and if the law says such responsibility must be clearly indicated, that little itty-bitty sticker in the lower left-hand corner, I'm not sure if that clearly indicated fits the bill, which is, again, why the Secretary of State's office is taking a closer look at this as a campaign finance violation, a charge that carries with it a fine of $250. As of today, the Deputy Secretary of State tells us they have also not heard back from the Bundy folks about this, and we reached out again today. However, this fine will likely be levied as early as tomorrow. And I know what you're probably thinking, $250 fine for someone who doesn't even bother to show up to court when called? Yeah, I know. Not a bad price to pay for the attention he's just received in 2 stories on the 208 either. But you asked, and we answered, and now you know more.